We can tell you that the person they have in custody, police say, is responsible for both today's incident as well as yesterday's incident you mentioned in front of Walgreens. He is David Floyd, age 67. No permanent address listed for Floyd. He is, again, as we said, responsible, according to police, for both of these bomb scares. We can tell you now that this is, in fact, an official murder investigation. That word coming recently from the Madison Police Department. So, again, this is an ongoing murder investigation. We have also learned the identity of the young woman who was found here earlier this afternoon. She has been identified as Brittany Sue Zimmerman. Everything is open as usual at UW Hospital. Workers are reporting to work. Patients should report to their designated appointment areas and just keep a heightened sense of alert. Again, we'll keep you posted as police have more information throughout the day, Christine. John, to echo what you and Morgan have already said, things are starting to pick up as far as speeds on the Beltline go. Traffic is moving fairly well at this hour. However, that does not mean, as you pointed out, that the roads are actually in condition to be traveling this fast. Regardless, road crews, snowplows have been very busy throughout the day and will continue to be busy into the night.
At this point, it's pretty dramatic.
Sandbags are usually used to keep water out.
We started sandbagging today around 11:30, quarter to 12.
These sandbags are meant to keep the water in.
I think we had 7 full dump trucks deliver sand.
This man-made canal cuts Main Street Partyville, Highway 22, in half. It's allowing high water from Park Lake on one side of Main Street to drain into Silver Lake on the other side. The sandbags serve as artificial banks, funneling the unwanted water away from downtown businesses.
Hopefully this is the extent of what we go through.
The high water is part of a 1-2 punch. You don't have to look far to still see the damage from Saturday's tornado.
I've lived in Wisconsin for 23 or 24 years and I've never seen anything like this.
Saturday's twister left a path of destruction, uprooting trees and damaging homes. No one was seriously hurt, but the storm interrupted graduation at Partyville High School.
All of a sudden it starts raining and there's a tornado warning.
With some minor alterations, the seniors got their diplomas. Now this community hopes its flood plan goes just as well.
Pretty slick operation today.
In Partyville, Brock Bergey, NBC 15 News.
It's a wonderful community asset, and I just would hate to lose it.
Sandy Decker is referring to this 40-acre site on Evansville's north side. Land now lined with weeds used to be covered by water. Signs of Lake Leota have washed away, and this once popular recreational area for swimming, boating, and fishing is history.
It was covered in front of us here with probably 18 inches of water.
Lake Leota was intentionally emptied in 2005. The city wanted to study its base and allow built-up silt to settle.
It was a beautiful jewel in the park.
3 years later, Gilbert Wiedenhoft is leading an effort to bring the lake back to life. He's chairman of SOUL, Save Our Lake Environment.
If it does go to a referendum, we're going to mobilize and work hard to get a positive aspect.
Fixing the lake could cost up to $2.5 million. Money Decker, the mayor of Evansville, says just isn't there. So the city council is looking at adding an advisory referendum to the fall ballot. Decker wants the water back, calling it a tourist attraction and quality of life issue.
I think the way people live in their hometowns is going to change.
This was never supposed to happen. The drawdown was meant to enhance the lake. Instead, it's become what many are calling an eyesore.
There's no way you could use it for other parkland, ball fields. It just isn't feasible with the natural springs that are out there that will keep it wet and keep water flowing.
The city's Park and Rec Board wants the council to take immediate action and forego a referendum. But Decker says taxpayers will likely decide whether this or this will fill Leota. In Evansville, Brock Bergey, NBC 15 News. Welcome back to the Cole Center. I'm Brock Bergey. More than 20,000 college students from across the country tried out for a spot in the 2008 College Championship of Jeopardy. Here is how UW Badger neurobiology major and longtime Jeopardy fan Suchita Shaw earned her way right here.
Say, kid, what time is it? Howdy doody time.
That's it.
Suchita Shaw has watched Jeopardy religiously, she says, since the 6th grade. So it's no surprise her prep work begins in front of the TV.
Atlanta. Let's go with Atlanta.
I've been trying to watch the show as much as I can, and then also I've got my friends and roommates prepping me on different stuff like pop culture and history and music and geography.
Her strongest category, chemistry.
I'm a chemistry tutor, so I think it's something that I'm strong at that other people would not be strong at, I hope.
Her weakest?
Deborah.
Music, she says, especially oldies and classical stuff.
1950s for 1600, please.
Flash drives?
Suchita is from Holman, Wisconsin, near La Crosse. The 20-year-old is known for her smarts. In high school, she got a perfect score on the ACT.
Mark Johnson! There you go. 1980, there we go. Yeah. Yay!
Now a new test given by a man Suchita is anxious to see in person.
It's been like one of my life goals to meet him.
Watch me on Jeopardy!
Alex Trebek is this classy gentleman who seems to know everything, and he's just the kind of person you wish you could just have a conversation with.
Suchita's wish comes true with a bit of practice time on set.
Suchita.
What is Batman and Robin Hood?
Correct. Suchita.
Who is Kit Carson?
Yes. Suchita.
What is the Atlantic Ocean?
You're right.
It's very surreal. I don't know if it'll set in when Johnny says my name or if once I see myself on TV.
Right before the first taping, Suchita appears pumped up, enjoying the pre-Jeopardy hype.
It's just a whole bunch of emotions going through right now and trying to calm down, not psych myself out, and enjoy the experience because it's been so much fun already.
All eyes on the Gulf Coast today as Hurricane Gustav slams ashore. Good evening, I'm Brock Bergey. Lee is off. Carlene is on assignment and she will join us shortly. The National Hurricane Center downgraded Gustav to a Category 1 storm with 90-mile-per-hour winds as it sideswiped New Orleans and pushed through Louisiana toward Texas. NBC's Kristen Dahlgren has the latest. Gustav is expected to dump 6 to 12 inches of rain on parts of Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, and Texas. Now, meanwhile, another storm is brewing. The National Hurricane Center has upgraded Hannah now to a hurricane. Meteorologists say it could hit anywhere from Miami to the Outer Banks of North Carolina later in the week. President Bush was in Texas this morning to supervise the government's response to the hurricane. Texas is a staging ground for emergency response. Hurricane Gustav is keeping General Motors OnStar service busy. Thousands of people trying to outrun the storm called in yesterday, looking for the quickest path out of the Gulf Coast, how to get around clogged evacuation routes, and searching for vacant hotel rooms. Some callers also trying to find loved ones traveling. At times, OnStar received more than 3,000 calls an hour. Right now, the Wisconsin National Guard is on standby. Lieutenant Colonel Tim Donovan says if the Guard is needed and requested, Wisconsin is willing and able to assist in the Gulf Coast. Donovan says more than 500 soldiers and airmen helped after Katrina back in 2005. Back here at home now, an important deadline for those affected by our flood emergency this summer. People living in the 30 counties highlighted there on this map have until 11 p.m. on September 15th to apply for FEMA assistance. You can register by calling 1-800-621-FEMA or logging on to FEMA's website. For a link, head to our web channel, NBC15.com. All right, well, we have a couple things to talk about here at home as far as the weather goes. Warm temperatures, but Amy is also tracking Hurricane Gustav, which continues to attract most of the attention today. Amy.
Detail the warmest days so far for the season in just a little bit, Brock.
And it comes, as you mentioned, people getting back into the fall type of routine. Not going to feel so much like fall,
A last taste of summer.
All right, Amy, thank you. Gustav is hitting the Gulf Coast, but it is also raining on the Republicans' parade up in St. Paul. Today is the opening day of the Republican National Convention, but the storm has forced a drastic change in plans. The planned 7-hour program has been shortened to roughly 3 hours. Democratic presidential nominee Barack Obama is cutting his trip to Milwaukee short in order to monitor Hurricane Gustav's damage. He canceled plans to spend tonight in town and to hold a small event tomorrow morning. Obama still plans to speak in Milwaukee at a rally set to begin in about an hour now. NBC 15's Carlene Wild is there with a preview. Hi, Carlene. NBC 15's Carlene Wild reporting tonight. Thank you, Carlene. Remember, you can count on NBC 15, NBC15.com, and NBC News for the most comprehensive election coverage. We will have another report, as Carlene mentioned, from the Obama rally tonight on our 6 o'clock show.